on Facebook. Shulamit, tell us when you can see us. Okay. So, Adar, you're very beautiful. You're a bit yellow. I hope that it's not hepatitis. I hope it's the lighting.
Yeah, I'm feeling well.
Okay, good. So we are ready to go, and we start with the jingle. Are you ready for the jingle?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Jingle, here we come.
Get a chair, grab a seat, or we'll sweep you off your feet. We groove, you got Mel. Ease your legs, rest a while, all you gotta do is smile. We're swell, can't you tell, you got Mel. When the show begins, you better hold on real tight, or before you know it, you'll be high as a kite. Take a break, settle down, we're the only show in town. It's our own, don't you know, you got Mel. Give it up, don't think twice, we're a hurricane on ice. What the hell, give a yell, ring a bell, show and tell. Mademoiselle, give a smile, you got Mel.
You
got Mel.
Hello. I'm just going to put these on.
Dad, can you raise your voice, please?
Do you hear me now well?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest on our show today, none other than my wonderful son, Adar Rosenberg-Nevo. How are you?
I'm very well, and I'm very glad to be here. So, hey, everybody, and thanks for joining us. And thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome. Because it's my show, I can invite whoever I want, including family. So, Adar, we start off the show by asking you two things. One is your favorite Beatles song.
I would go for All My Loving.
All My Loving. So now you have to sing a little bit of it.
Okay.
Close.
Oh, my loving, I will send to you. Oh, my loving, darling, I be true.
Nice.
I think for the beginning.
It's not bad at all. And that is something I never knew about you. I didn't know which Beatles song you love best, and now I know, and that's wonderful.
So now we get to know each other better.
Yes, and now you have an opportunity to talk about yourself for about a minute or so.
Okay.
And then the audience will ask you questions. I'm the audience.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, as you said, my name is Adar Rosenberg. And today I'm coaching football. I'm the founder of AR Academy. It's a professional football academy that provides a holistic approach for footballers, and we coaching professional footballers in 3 different parameters: technical trainings, videos, analysis, and mental strength sessions. This is what I do for a living.
That's wonderful. And so you have this amazing football school. You're already making more money than your daddy. And you have already football players. Can you mention a few of them for the Israeli audience and maybe some people in Europe?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we're working with approximately 50 players from the top league, first league of Israel. And a few of them are top players. Between of them, you can find Manor Solomon, which plays for Shakhtar. And
Manor plays abroad.
Yeah, he plays abroad at Ukraine. And he's one of our best talent we have in our country. Of course, he's in the national team. In addition, we have Eli Dassa, which plays at the Netherlands. And we have around more 40 players at the first league, 40, 50 players at the first league. And that's it. That's it.
Wonderful. And when did you start the school?
So basically, I was starting coaching when I was 17, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 12 years ago. I got older.
But who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. So the story is, to make long story short, I tore my ACL at the age of 17, and I decided to start it with my coaching career, which at the beginning my dream was to be a big coach at Europe, at England. And by the time when I was at the age of 26, when I reached to be an assistant coach at the first league at Hapoel Ra'anana, I decided to switch my career and to open a private academy for footballers at 2018. And I own the academy for already 1.5 years.
So this is a kind of a dream. Like if I asked you, would you be training international players within 2 years, then you would have told me no.
So first of all, yes, I think this is a very big challenge. The biggest challenge that I'm dealing with is because I wasn't a famous player that played at a professional team, it's very difficult getting the opportunity working with top players here. So you need to prove yourself all the time. And of course, it's a dream that I cannot explain by words. Well, there's a one missing part that I really missed by coaching a team, and is my dad watching me coaching the team at Saturdays. This is the feeling that I really want to have again. I'm missing that feeling.
Okay, but your dad always preferred to watch you playing rather than
Of course.
coaching. Why is that?
What my dad? Can you repeat, please?
Your dad, whom I know quite well, always
Yeah.
preferred to watch you playing soccer rather than coaching soccer.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, because when you're playing, it depends on you and your feet. When you're coaching, it depends on other people's feet.
Correct, but I think you have a lot of influence when you're coaching. When you're coaching a team or individuals, it's very it's a different job. It's a different point of view. When you're coaching a team, it's like you have a company and you need to see all the players together to make the great combination that you can make of, and to check correlations between players. And when you're teaching and leading individual, you need to develop them specifically. And
so what do you think that people consider soccer to be a game of people who are physically fit but mentally limited? Do you agree that that's the situation? That soccer players, they don't go to university, they're not always so literate, they make funny mistakes. So the public maybe thinks that they're not the smartest of people?
This is a great question. So first of all, there are some players, like in every field, we have some players that are intelligent and more intelligent and less intelligent, like we have in other positions.
Like the university.
Not only footballers, and actually, as long as you can see that, I think footballers getting more educated, and there's more footballers that go to university during playing in teams. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy because you have a short career, 10 years, maybe 12 years, to make a business, and this is your first priority. So usually when you have this short term or short opportunity, you need to focus only on your target. And if someone doesn't see or doesn't feel like going to university would be a great decision for him in football, he won't do it. But
okay, but Adar, in basketball, in the NBA, almost all the players are college players before they're drafted.
So there's a big difference between the footballers and basketball players. I still don't know why. I think that the basic thing is it's easier playing football when you're a kid. You don't need For basketball, you need lots of things. When you're playing soccer, you only need maybe 2 rockets to just put or stones or something, and just playing football with orange, for example. So
Orange, yeah.
yeah, so it's very easy. There's no rules. You can always play football. So you have lots of people from different typecasts. So and as I said, I think it's very important in order to be an intelligent player. I think you need to. I don't like this sentence, but thinking out of the box. I mean, out of the field, out of the playing football. See what else is going on the world, and develop your mind, because it's very important when you're playing football to think ahead, to understand the game, to see what's common, which patterns I need to analyze and to be focused on. And it's things.
So do you think that soccer is becoming a game where you need to use your head more than in the past?
First of all, of course, I think that football is getting better. It's getting faster. Defenders are getting better. And as you can see, what we usually struggling now in football is creating penetration and great defenders, which usually this is one of the most difficult obstacles that managers deal with. And in order to deal with it, you need to play faster. You need to understand the movement of the game, what's going on, which situation goes over and over again. And thinking, what I teach a strategy, a good strategy that I work with the players, is thinking from the opponent's mind. So it doesn't matter. They need always to be better with the decision and better with the thinking way, and not it's not have any connection always to university. For
No, but
example,
it sounds like it's connected to things like chess.
just thinking ahead, because chess you need to think ahead a few moves before. So in football as well, but
If you're a good player, you need to think 10 or 20 moves.
yes, but the biggest difference is that chess is stable and you can always see it. And football, you have tons of pictures that you need to understand and to analyze in a short window. So it's very difficult, and under the circumstances, pressure, physical limitations. It's not that easy. And chess, sometimes you can sit in the air condition.
So Adar, I come from Canada, and I
Yeah.
fell in love with soccer because of your interest. Do you remember the
Right.
age at which you started to love soccer?
I assume around 3 or 4,
Yeah.
but I feels like I've never did something else before. Like it's always football on my mind.
Okay, but do you remember when you were 3 or 4? Kicking
Just
the
when
ball?
we were at Netherlands, maybe I have there a picture with the football shoes. So, but I don't remember. I
Yeah,
don't.
even on a visit to Canada when you were not even 4 years old, you kicked the football around.
Correct, with the red coat.
Richard Allen's house, yeah.
I remember that.
And then what was your next step, the official step?
So you ask as a kid,
Yeah.
a kid. After deciding that football is what I want to do when I be older, so football was the first priority on my mind. That was my major thing in life. And at the age of 12, maybe 11, we had our best conversation.
No, but before that, when you were
No, I started playing football at the age of 8. I went to Betar Ramat Gan, which is a local team. And then at the age of 11 or 12, we had our marvelous conversation that changed my mind. And you said, there you have 2 options, either school and football or school. So there
I
was
don't remember that.
there was nothing I can do, so I started studying. I studied hard enough to go to trainings and to play football. But today I can tell you, thank you, because it really helped me. It helped me improving my English and improving math and thinking faster and analyzing things and listen and to have self-discipline and create self-confidence and the things that you can really earn by school. So I played professional football from the age from 8 years old. Then we turned.
Professional football in the sense that you weren't getting paid, but I was paying other people.
Yeah, of course.
So that's reverse professional soccer.
Correct. And then at the age of 14, it was the first step, real step. We turned to Maccabi Tel Aviv, and we had a great year. And then we moved to Hapoel Petach Tikva, which there I got injured, as I tell at the beginning. But no guilt feelings.
Huh?
No guilt feelings.
You want me to feel guilty about it?
No. I said no guilt feelings at all. I said I got injured. I got
I
injured.
can feel guilty if you tell me to. You know, I'm your dad.
No.
Because I don't feel guilty. I think that you pursued your dream, and I would tell you don't get injured, and then you got injured. So you didn't listen to me. I told you do not get injured. So of all the many things in your career that I followed, I'm thinking of one turning point, but was there like one defining moment? Was there like the 10 minutes that changed your life, as I like to say with Jeff Pulver? Was there one turning point, one thing that happened?
As a player or as a coach?
You can do both. You know, you're the guest on the show.
So as a player, I remember in football, you need lots of connections. Unfortunately, you are a professor for microbiology, so we had no connections at all with coach, team, or others. I preferred you as a football coach instead of a professor for microbiology, of course. So everything was very difficult. The story that I remember that changed my point of view is when I was 14 at Maccabi Tel Aviv. You know that story very well. I went to the weekly training as usual, and then on Saturday, I didn't see my name on the lineups. And at the end of the game, you asked me, Adar, do you want me to talk to the coach to see what's happening? So I tell you, Dad, don't do it. Give me a week. I'm gonna be back. I'm not good enough. And sometimes when you chase those things and you achieve it, there are some points that you cannot explain what it does to your self-confidence, that you can always go back to your mind and open this notebook and see that page of the story and said, you can do it.
Okay, I also think that this is the turning point in your career. And what I remember happened was you had been sick. And before that, you were playing every game.
Yep.
And then after you came back, you couldn't find your way onto the opening roster. When I asked you whether you wanted me to speak to the coach, you said, no, Dad, when I'm good enough, I'll be back on the team. And I said, at that moment, I said, okay, this kid has what it takes.
Correct.
I became a microbiologist, and like you, my dad, whom I loved, did other things. He was an engineer. I became a microbiologist. He had to live with that. And my mom was a teacher. The kids, none of them became engineers. You and your sister, neither of you became scientists or professional musicians or children's book writers or even poets like your mom. So when you have kids, soon I hope, and by the way, this is a good time to congratulate you. You just got engaged.
Thank you very much.
And tell everybody what your fiance's full name is.
Well, we have exactly the same name, so it's pretty easy to remember it. We just spell it differently. So her name is
So Adar Rosenberg is engaged too.
Adar Rosenwald.
So anyway, she's wonderful and congratulations. So when you guys have I'm going to say grandchildren, you guys have my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Will you, if your kids want to develop other interests, would you encourage that, or would you give the soccer ball to the 6-month-old baby?
I said that if I would do what you did, and I would be succeeding doing 70% or 60% of what you did with me, so it's a huge success for me. I always said that my best friend is a professor because it's my dad. So as I told you, I think that you gave me lots of tools, and it's so important doing what you love in life, because I think you it's just the best way living it. But it's not always easy, because if you remember all the days that we begin, and I started coaching football for so many years and earning money wasn't good enough, as you remember. So and you always told me, Adar, be patient, just work hard, continue working, concentrate on this and this and this. And sometimes when you're young, you want to make money, so there's lots of noises taking you out of the balance, and you need to always be focused on the target, and just need to come down and tell yourself that if I getting better, if I would be the best in this field, I will earn money from this field. So I just need to say thank you, I guess. Thank you very much.
It's okay. I need to say thank you too. So Adar, that's very good. I was just thinking about the Beatles. You know, when the Beatles started, their manager, Brian Epstein, offered them 25 pounds a week for life. And they thought about it. They didn't say no.
Yeah.
Brian would have made a very good deal. So it's all about looking at the long term, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, of course. And I think you need to anticipate and expect that obstacles and struggles we always have, but it's better having struggles and obstacles that you like to deal with. Because it doesn't matter where you work, so you always have challenges. So it's better dealing with challenges that you love and you have the passion to solve, I would say.
Okay, so when you get out of bed in the morning, how long does it take you to jump out of bed and conquer the world?
I'm waking every day. I'm waking up at 6 in the morning, starting my day with a short run, and then usually I'm training till 12, eating something, going to rest if it's a good day for 45 minutes, and then starting the second part of my day, which is usually courses, meeting players, and developing the business. And afternoon from 6 p.m. till 10, I'm coaching again.
So you're working very hard.
Yes, but it doesn't feel like it's hard.
Because it's your passion.
Satisfying, you're getting addicted. It's satisfying. It's just amazing.
And in between all this, you never stopped working, but you went to university to make your daddy and your mommy happy.
No, never. I think it was a great decision because, first of all, learning is good. I cannot tell that things that I received, that I learned at the university. So some part of it I used in my business, but not a huge part. There's nothing like real life. So you can always learn tools and stuff, but when you're negotiating with people and players and you're working on contracts, so there's another rules that you don't really understand or can learn if you're not dealing with it on a daily basis. So it wasn't a mistake. I think I first of all, I found friends and connections that that's amazing from all over the world. And second of all, I improved my English. The whole degree was in English, which was a great decision. And last thing, I think for my self-confidence, because coaching football and having the first degree, a great privilege. And I would say a huge advantage on the others, because not much has it.
Why do you feel that that having a bachelor's degree is an advantage in coaching soccer?
Because I think that football today uses more technology, more data that you need to analyze, more video software. We're using computers. We're using iPads. We're creating our trainings in softwares, and so everything is you're getting. You need to get better. In order to get better, you need to challenge yourself and learn more about other stuff, and not only football, to open your mind. And when the first players started to do it, I think the first one was from Maccabi Tel Aviv. He was the captain. So everybody stares at him and say how we have the time, and but you can definitely see that his level of intelligence is much more than the others and the average.
Who is this?
Shiran Yaini.
Yeah.
And
The son of Lior Yaini.
correct.
Wonderful singer.
He's a great player. He's a great player. It's not one of the.
There you have an example. His dad, whom we grew up on his music, was a great singer and an actor and a musician, and his son became a top soccer player. So I feel a certain kinship with that family.
Yeah, of course. So as I said, he's not the most talented and with a great technique, but he's so intelligent. So and he made a beautiful career as a captain of Maccabi Tel Aviv, which is a great honor.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Can you get his autograph for
Yeah.
me and his dad's autograph?
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
So now I want to tell the listeners a story that I think is very, it's a good way to start winding down this wonderful interview.
Mm-hmm.
A few months ago, we went to a stadium to watch a soccer game together. And what happened?
You will tell the story right now. Now I'm interviewing you.
Okay, so there's a million people. I don't know anybody. Usually I know people. And people will come up to me, "Hi, Mel." And I don't know a soul. These are all soccer enthusiasts. And I hear somebody yelling, "Professor! Professor!" I say, "Oh, shit. Somebody knows me. Somebody's calling my name." And this guy, whom I really couldn't remember, but that often happens, comes towards me and he's about to hug me. And then he goes over and he hugs you and he says, "You are the professor of soccer." How did you feel?
Well,
I know how I felt.
I felt a little bit shy, because usually when people say to me, "Professor," so I'm searching for you around me. So I was a little bit shy, but I was proud. I was happy to see that I can be maybe a professor in my field, and I was happy that you were there.
Yeah, I was jealous and proud at the same time, to be frank.
Yes,
I said, "What happened to all the people in the world who know me?"
he's a great person, by the way, and
The guy who hugged you?
yeah.
Okay, I'm delighted. It was a bit of an initial disappointment for me, and then a huge amount of pride that people think so highly of you. So let's talk now about your challenges going forward.
Okay, so
What do you have to be careful? We have people who are
This is a good
watching,
question.
who want to be startupists, who want to have businesses. What are the things going forward that you have to be careful of?
I just wrote it on my board. There are some things that we can there's some subjects that we can have there's mistakes, and there's some things that we cannot have mistakes there. So I just made a course for my team where we can have our visualization and creation.
Your teaching team.
Yeah, and where is all the stuff, all the coaches? There are 5 more coaches. We have five more coaches with me, and so I always give them the opportunity and challenge them to think what's going on in the future. What I said is, in the near future, I think that our challenge is that lots of coach will open new academies, and it's something that goes and getting really faster. We're getting more and more academies and more competition. It's getting harder, and it's not enough being good inside the field when you're coaching the players. What I'm trying to do now is reach some players that I see the potential, but not in the near future. So why I do it? I do it because when you're making a proof of concept in my business, when you're taking a player from his young age and succeeding bringing him to the first team and telling all this story, if we have like few stories like this, so we on the road. So this is one of our biggest challenges, that we need to take somebody from point A, which is very young and it's risky. You need to check specifically who has potential, because you're running, you have a marathon here. So I won't be able telling you if I'm right or wrong at the near future. Hopefully we have this conversation in 2 or 3 or 4 years and I say it was a good decision. So this is the first challenge. Second challenge is, I don't know what's going on with the COVID-19, which is challenging all of us. Yeah, as you can see.
Well, let's hope that that's the short-term issue.
Exactly. So you always need to have plan B. This is what I suggest to our viewers. And it's a great tip, because sometimes you think that plan A is great, but it's not working. And then you always need to think again, and you're surviving. When you're having plan B, you're not surviving, because you can always respond. And this is why it's very, very, very important having plan B, especially in this period of year.
Okay, but you're not thinking right now of geometric growth, of the internet, of teaching the world, of going viral.
Yes, but I think it's supposed to be one step at a time. We're training now in 3 different locations. So we just opened now our location at the north at Haifa, which is very challenging, starting the business from the beginning in a new position and a new location, which is very difficult. And we have there a lot of competition, a good competition.
So you've gone from nothing to 5 coaches, 3 different locations in 2 years.
When we used to be kids, when we played football and you were ahead 1-0. So we always tell each other, we are tied. There's 0-0. That's 0-0. That's the score. And play as
when you're ahead 1-0.
When you're ahead 1-0, especially when you're ahead, because when you're losing 1-0, you have the feeling that you have nothing to lose. You're already losing. So you're starting risking stuff. But when you're telling your mind that I'm 0, I'm now 0-0, that's the score. It's always from the beginning. So suddenly you're starting growth. So what I refuse to look at is the success, because it's only 1.5 years, and success is supposed to be something stable for lots of years. When you're we're going to talk about it in a couple of years, 5 or 6 or 7 years, and we see the growth, then I will tell you that I succeed.
Adar, if somebody comes to you and offers you $10 million for your company.
If I work for the company, if I still work for the company, I would accept.
Okay.
But
So,
if I'm out of the company,
so and what happens if and you get a call from Europe that says, come over, because I know in Israel you don't want to coach.
correct.
But let's say you get a call from one of the teams that everybody knows about, and they say, Adar, come over and work for us. That'll be kind of hard, even if it's an assistant manager or in charge of mental or whatever.
I'll tell you the truth. I tell you, to be honest, after my experience at the first league as assistant coach, there are a few things that I understood about myself. So first of all, you need to be a good
Politician.
politician.
Yeah.
When you're coaching, you have to deal with players with lots of ego. They're earning tons of money, and there's lots of pressure, and sometimes there's not a long time to make change. So you need to bring the change immediately, and not all the time it's all about you. But the first one who needs to pay if it doesn't work, it's always the coach. And so this is why it's very difficult for me working for a team. But there is a but here.
Yeah.
Let's say that the academy I'm getting very well, and we are worldwide, and we're doing our dream. So of course, because money is not an issue, and I can do my thing, and I can coach football, so I would give it another try. But meanwhile, earning a good salary and building your company is not that for me. So
Okay.
I'm still concentrating on what we have right now. And I don't know what we have in the future. What we have in the future, we will decide.
Okay, but there isn't a plan B. It's soccer or what?
No, there's nothing.
Soccer or soccer.
There's soccer or soccer. This is the plan B, but different soccer. Different soccer. So it means that maybe working in teams, as you say, but it's always soccer. So when I'm in plan B is when you're owning a business or something and you're running for something, you're doing something, you're taking an action. You always need to have another plan. You never know what's going to happen. Even if you're 100% sure, you will succeed with your first shot.
So I used to worry about you because when you have, I always teach my students to have more than one box and then to think between them, right? And to always have several hobbies in the air. And you're basically a person who's even luckier because you've turned your passion into your dream, into your work, into your business. And you're lucky because this is what you do best also. And the other thing that I'm just thinking of now while we're talking is that so many technologies are going to change and so many workplaces are going to be changing, but there's still going to be soccer in 30 and 50 years.
This is the fun part.
Yeah, so soccer isn't going away. It's only getting more and more popular.
Correct. So this is why I can sleep at night, because I cannot see football disappearing out of the world. And there's no replacement for coaching. It's like you're going to replace players. You always need somebody on the field to lead the team. It can't be a computer because it's a part of the game. As you can see, it's like we have our VAR, our virtual reality, that the video that a referee can see right now. So instead of the referee, he still's on the field. He's getting decisions, he's taking decisions, but he has something that helps him, technology, to take decisions, to take the right decision. But it never disappeared. There is always going to be a referee.
There's always going to be players on the pitch and the coaches.
Correct. Yeah.
and of course the referees. So so Adar, for me, the great thing is that you've done all this by yourself. All I could ever do was come to the games and cheer you on. You didn't come out of a football family. This is 100% you, and I congratulate you for this. And I've seen you grow over the past 29 years, and I can't wait to see what's coming. We have your company ahead and a family ahead. My goodness.
I just don't want to forget that we are on live, but I'm still going to tell you that I really love you. And thanks for everything. Thanks for pushing me and believing in me and always being helping me to take the right decisions. And you are absolutely a part of it, a huge part of it.
Well, I'm happy to be a small part of it. If I'm a huge part of it, then you owe me a lot of money. But I'm happy to be a small part of it because it's reciprocal. You know that in addition to having a very clever wife, I'm blessed with two very smart children. And very often when I run into problems and difficulties in my life, I seek out your advice. And there's nobody I love to travel with more than you and your sister. So I've been blessed in having two children that are also the best friends that I could ever wish for in my life.
You're right.
So
we're lucky.
I think, I've got Mel, and Mel has wonderful kids and a dear wife. So Adari, anything else you want to talk about? It's your show.
Okay, so
we have like 2 minutes. I don't know.
Okay, so I would take this 2 minutes to just say thank you very much for all the audience. And it was challenging for me doing it in English.
Yes.
But I'll tell you a short story about English. So when I was young, and I usually had to ask Dad general questions like, where is the bathroom? Can I eat? Or anything. So he didn't respond if it wasn't in English. It was very difficult to me to communicate. But now, again, I'm saying thank you. So sometimes you need to be a little bit tough with the education, but your kids will earn it. If they know how to take it, they will earn it. So I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity and for all the listeners. And if there's any more questions, you can always ask me privately. I would be very happy if you all want to follow my academy, my private academy. You can see here the logo.
Now let's do. Yeah, you can also put it in the Facebook underneath.
I will.
You can have the share party. This is on video and it'll stay on Facebook Live. We'll
Perfect.
put it on YouTube. So this is a wonderful place to advertise. I don't usually do this, but it's your company, AR Academy Forever. Adar Rosenberg-Nevo, the best coach there ever was or will be. Love you to pieces, kid, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Love you.
Bye, everybody. Stay healthy.